Hi, welcome to this channel on magnetic energy, technology, principles, applications. This video is about Ascension Transition or transitions. So this is slightly related to the magnetic energy model, kind of a little metaphysical detour again. And I think it's so important because we've got to help this model of the universe. It says it's an etheric magnetic energy model. And there's so much evidence that's coming out all the time in science that supports this model, and it's pretty wild. And there's a lot of readings right now around the globe and what's happening with the magnetic field that also support this model and the transition that we're going through. So it's very interesting. This is a very interesting time to be alive. And for those of you that are kind of more tuned in to the energies and being a light worker and you do meditation and all that, you may have noticed all these swings in energy. So in this model of the universe, there's such a deep connection between science and spirituality, or science and metaphysics, and there's such a deep connection between all of life and all of the universe and what's happening in our planet and our solar system, and then what's happening with us and our bodies and what we're going through personally and as a global family, a global community. And as the planet transitions through the coming pole shift and all these things, and the magnetic field transitions, there's this oscillation that happens. So there's a lot of like kind of switching back and forth between the fields, not only in the polarities, but it's a deeper, like it's a subatomic resonance that is a higher vibratory rate. That's kind of one way of saying it, or a higher pulse rate. And it literally is a different resonant frequency for the planet and for our entire solar system that we're switching into. So you got to remember that everything's constantly flowing, everything's constantly turning, constantly spinning. There's energy flowing in and out of all systems at all times. And so it's not just a simple switch to a new frequency. So there's always this kind of back and forth oscillation as we raise the equilibrium that everything balances around. So how that looks for us as a planet, there's of course a lot of, we are entering into kind of the intense time. So in the next few years, things could be ramping up quite significantly. But on a personal level, how does that look for us as human beings and what we're going through? So we could experience pretty radical swings in our perception and our awareness of like global energy, of universal energy, of feeling like our conscious connection to the universal mind, if you will, or the global consciousness. Like sometimes we may feel very open and like, whoa, like that was a high vibration dream or lucid dream or meditative experience. You know, I felt so tapped in, I feel like I'm getting all these messages. And then there may be other times where we feel completely closed off at a low vibration. Like there could be like, oh my gosh, you know, like I'm feeling so sad, or I'm so hopeless, there's no hope for what's happening in the world, or I'm so angry or so depressed, and all these things. So we can go through these wild swings of emotions, wild swings of clarity, especially like clarity in meditation and clarity in like in our visioning and visions. And then the other thing that is interesting is we are transitioning. So we're kind of each in our own little pole shift, if you will, like where we're transitioning from more of a head-based energy to a heart-based energy. So we may have these moments where we feel like this expansive heart energy, this expansive awareness, like, whoa, I could see how if everyone felt this way, like it would change the world and we would be in a whole new society that could actually have some like level of peace on earth and more independence, autonomy, sovereignty, all these, you know, wonderful things, more expressions of unconditional love and everything. And then the very next day, you may feel like it's so difficult to even tune into your heart energy that it's almost like it's not even there, and you may be back in low vibration temporarily. Now, so the key, what we have to remember is what we experience at the high vibration or the expanded awareness moments is what's to come. Those are tastes and forecasting or predictions or prophecies, however you want to say that, but that's the energy that's coming. And so as the whole mean raises, the equilibrium raises of our level of vibration, our level of conscious awareness, our level of expanded awareness of the universe and different everything. As that raises and we go through those oscillations, those swings, pretty soon, like in the next few years, we're going to start seeing, hopefully staying at a higher equilibrium overall and having a shorter amount of time swinging in the low vibration energy and maintaining a higher level of awareness, more expanded awareness as we really start to go through more transitions, the equilibrium will raise so significantly that we won't really even go into those low vibration experiences for quite some time. And so I think it's important when we're in those places to try to stay aware if we can. I know it's very difficult sometimes, but to try to stay aware that we're simply in a low vibration state that's more of a remembrance of how things used to be, and that it's going to be very temporary, that we're going to get through it, and to try to stay grounded as possible. If you can put your actual feet on the actual earth, that's the best thing. A lot of us can't do that depending on where you live and how cold it is and all these things. The next best thing might be to at least go barefoot on any kind of all natural flooring, if you can do that, or be in water that's connected to like some sort of water line so that it has a grounding component to it. So like whether it's a bath or a shower, to have water on through your energy, it helps clean the aura, all that stuff. So all those little tricks that we all know and love, I think are so important. But then to also remember that when we do get into those high vibration states, those expanded awareness states, that's really the reality. Those higher states of consciousness are closer to source. That's closer to the truth. The messages that we get in those states are more accurate. They represent a highly supported reality at a much higher level of power and global awareness and everything. And so they're closer to source. They're closer to our true nature of who we are. They're closer to our heart center energy, where we're heading with our living. So if you get messages in those high vibration states, I think it's more important for us right now to trust those messages and to follow the guidance in those messages, as opposed to what we think is something we should do in a low vibration state, if that makes sense. So because a lot of people right now, it's like they get motivated and compelled and all these things from a low vibration state, like in a place where there's a lot of constriction in their energy, a lot of anger, a lot of fear, a lot of hopelessness, and the guidance in those particular states of energy is not reliable. It's not really universally supported. It could be very inaccurate. It could lead us down paths that need to either be corrected or have more pain and suffering, or they're in the spectrum of our paths that they could be the lowest vibration part of our path. So I think it's best to just try to let go. This is such a huge lesson, letting go. Let go of the energy in those low vibration states as best as we can. Try to stay centered if we can. It takes so much more effort in a low vibration state to tune into your heart center and to really try to get an expanded awareness, but sometimes that effort may actually pay off, and it may just be lying low for a while, riding the storm out, trying to stay grounded, trying to stay centered if you can, and then knowing that it's just temporary and that the cycle will be swinging back and forth, and it will be getting less and less of the low vibration cycle and more of the higher vibration cycle. Because as we're in this transition, there could be quite radical swings of energy, not only on the planet, but also throughout society, throughout us personally. So I guess that's the message of this. Just really gravitate toward the higher vibration part of the cycle if we can, and follow that guidance. Trust that voice, trust that higher vibrational voice when you are at an expanded state of awareness. really follow that guidance, because that's really what is more accurate. That's the better guidance, most likely. Okay. Quick video on this, but I hope this is helping someone out there, because I felt like this was something I had to do and had to get it out there now. So I wish you all the best, and I will see you next time.